I mean, if I was trying to go live, that's what I would hit.
All right. Mark and I did make a promise that we were going to learn the soundboard, and that has never been on the radar since we got the soundboard.
We have until the day we die to learn it, so we have all the time in the world.
Life is full of empty promises.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom put me in charge of Twitter, so
Yeah.
nothing has happened on Twitter.
Yes. All right. Welcome back. Facebook Live. We'll start with you before we start the live show. We're here with Sam Fischer. This is our third Facebook Live, and it's been getting bigger. We got Susan downstairs monitoring it.
Yep.
I was really stoked when I saw the views last week, and then I looked at the video, and I'm like, that's a big bald spot happening there, Tom. I'm not so stoked about Facebook Live anymore.
Not that camera angle, anyway.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone's seeing the back of my head. We need to move me.
We'll talk to Ian. We'll get you a yarmulke.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
Can I get a yarmulke at my hair color? So, all right, I guess we can start the show. Let's hit her. Boom! Welcome back, Universe, to Tom and Mark Off the Rails, episode 25, first ever 25th episode.
Coming to you live from Highland Towers in Cedarburg, Wisconsin.
Yeah. And with our special guest,
It's our special guest,
Sam Fischer. There he is.
Hey.
Hey. All right, tell us what you do, Sam.
Well, amongst many things,
Yeah.
I think the main thing is probably the motorcycle racing.
Yes.
What we refer to as the Hooligan class, which is long and short of it anyway. We'll get more into it later.
Okay.
Harley Davidson's on dirt. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, you just answered one of my interview questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this
Right,
is why
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't do a big interview at
Right.
first.
Exactly.
So, okay. I guess some announcements. We're looking pretty good for that party setting up July 14th. Everybody come. We should have a live band, free food, bring your own booze.
Yep, Tom rented
Yeah.
out a space at a park in Jackson,
Nice.
and he
We're
wants to
gonna
have a listener appreciation day.
I like it. Yeah.
Yep.
Bring your own booze, but we're going to have brats and hot dogs and stuff.
And we'll have water and stuff. We're going to have a couple comedians do a set, and then we're going to do a live show and hopefully have a band. It's just going to be a day of sitting around, eating, and saying thank you for coming there.
Is there going to be a patch of concrete anywhere I could do a big burnout on the motorcycles?
It's a huge. I rented out the big
Yeah.
one. You
Oh,
remember
good,
where Action in Jackson was?
Yeah.
That's the building.
Okay. Well, there's plenty of room to do burnouts and make noise and be obnoxious.
There's
there.
like 100 picnic tables in there. So
Sure.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll move them.
We'll bring one of the bikes.
Okay. Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson could help sponsor that.
Oh yeah.
That would be cool. That's what we're looking for.
Right. Right.
Because the band says yes, unless we're going to get paid for something else.
Right. Right.
Well, we need a definite yes.
Right.
For free.
Exactly.
So we got a sponsor on the hook. Maybe two. Yeah.
The gears are turning.
Yeah. And go to our Patreon page. We're getting bigger. You can help us out. All it costs is $1. You get a bonus episode a day early.
Oh.
And when we start building more money, leveling up, we're going to start
T-shirts,
giving
coffee mugs.
everything. We got big dreams here.
There you go.
Another announcement is we're going to start doing Movies with Mark every 2 weeks,
Yes.
just so we have more time to find fun, obscure movies and review them.
Because it is impossible to find time to watch a movie in a whole week.
I am a very
hard.
busy man,
So hard.
and you made us watch a very long movie.
Oh, yeah.
We
Don't
watched
ever watch
Boyhood.
Oh boy.
Took 8 years to film, 9 years to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. My goodness.
Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to my mom. Hope everybody wishes her well. She had a major surgery, and it didn't go well. So,
Ooh, she's still in the hospital?
Yeah.
yeah, they ended up, it's like a colorectal intestinal thing, and they had to take a whole bunch of stuff out, and when they got in there, they found out, whoa, we underestimated this. I
No
bet
more.
you get that working on a engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very same. Yeah.
But she was in
This
surgery.
exhaust is full of crap.
I just want to say, Ma, we love you because I know you're going to have a lot of time on your hands and probably listen to the show.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, but 5.5 hours she was under the knife.
Wow.
Oof. I can gut a few deer in 5.5 hours. How much cutting were you doing?
Right. Right. I
On
think
her-
they might be slightly more precise and careful on a
Yeah.
human. that it
just-
needs
I
to
would
remain
hope
alive.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm cutting a dead deer. So, yeah, good luck. Good luck, Ma. And you'll be back on your feet.
Good luck, Barb.
Yeah. She's already pooping again, man.
Hey, go team.
It's got to be good then. Yeah.
And I'm sure she loves that you just shared that.
Right. Right. Exactly.
She's going to hate this, man. I know that because she
This
sent
week on
Foz a
Bowel
picture.
Update with
Right.
Barb.
Right.
Yeah, she sent my dad a picture, and he's like, "Whoa, look at this!" I'm like, "Oh, great!
Awesome.
You guys are sexting wrong."
Yeah. Way off. Way off.
That's so wrong.
So I guess we can go best drink ever of the
Oh,
week.
yeah. We decided to do sidecars today because we got a motorcycle guy in here today. And I wanted to do more of the classy, old school drinks. So we made ours a little differently. You're supposed to make it with cognac, but Tom knows I have a bit of a Hennessy problem. So we decided to use brandy.
Oh, all three of us have a bit of a Hennessy problem at this point.
'Cause
That was your
cognac-
fault.
Cognac is just brandy from cognac. It's like champagne.
We all
is
got
from
that
champagne.
problem the same New Year's Eve
Oh, damn it. Damn it.
night.
Well, yeah, I misunderstood the text, and I thought he wanted me to bring it. So
We ended up
yeah,
with two bottles of
bottles.
Hennessy for three people.
Well, and I mean, you have to drink it all at that point.
Yeah.
You can't just let
Yeah,
it sit.
I was okay until Tom made a mixer of it with Coke the next morning.
Oh, boy.
And then I almost puked. Just
Cutting them
thinking
off.
it.
Right.
So with the sidecar, it was 5 parts brandy, 2 parts we used Coin True, which is some sort of orange liqueur. You could use triple sec, and then 2 parts lemon juice. Put it in your shaker with ice, shake it up, pour it out. It's very good. It's a little on the strong side,
It
but
is strong.
I'm trying to do
Does
more
sound that way.
mature, grown-up, adult drinks
Right,
versus
right.
just like, hey, you guys want some more WAP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't look very
St.
mature and
Patrick's Day, come
adult
Sure bomb.
when I take a sip of it and go,
It's
"Ah."
a sip and drink. It's the only drink you'll need for the day.
Yeah, it's very adult. Makes me feel less bald.
Yeah, so we will have that recipe on the website. I'll probably post it on Monday, so
I
it'll be
already
there
put the
before the
picture on
episode drops.
Instagram.
Yep. So
So, all right. I guess we'll do some current events before local events. I like to switch them up.
sure.
And we were looking at this new thing that seems pretty cool until I thought about it.
Until we
more.
looked into it some more.
It's called Soundwave tattoos. Anybody hear about that?
No.
All right, Molly knows a lot more about it, but if you can see on my picture here, they take a pre-recorded voice, like this one girl had. Her mother left a message on her phone before she died
Sure.
and said, I love you, I'll always be there for you.
Right.
So she took that clip, and this tattoo artist can tattoo that sound wave onto your skin, and then you can use your phone to
Scan
He's
hold
got
it
an
up,
app where you scan it.
and it plays your
Okay.
mother's voice.
And I watched a little Facebook ad on it, and I was like, "That's pretty cool. That's actually a really neat thing." But then I looked into
Mark
it
already
some
thought
more.
about it more.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it does. It does work, but the way that it works is you go to this website and you upload your clip,
Yeah.
and they give you the sound wave for it, similar to
It-
like what you're seeing over here on my recording software. They give you the sound wave for it, print it out. They give you a list of tattoo artists and where they're located that you can go to that are trained to do this. And then after you get the tattoo, you take a picture of that and you take your clip and you upload them both together to this website, and it basically hosts it on the app, but you have to pay for it. You have to pay, I think it's like
There's the hook in the
$40.
mouth.
So it's not actually reading the sound wave; it's recognizing the
picture.
It's
photo
recognizing
Right.
the picture.
and
That was my
associating it
problem.
Like a
with an
barcode.
assigned sound
Right.
file.
So
It's-
it could be any picture tattooed on your arm.
I don't
I
know.
could draw a dick
Maybe.
on your arm.
Right.
With
And,
the-
hey, oh, there's my
Sense.
dying mother.
And then when you
Yeah.
scan
Take
a
a picture of the
You
dick on my
scan the
arm.
dick and
Yeah.
it plays.
Right, yeah. Your dying
I
mother's
think it's
last words.
goes
But
to a
I-
database.
I think it's $40 to start, and then it's $9 a year to keep it like hosted on there so that you can keep
But-
scanning your.
But you already have the message from your mom on your phone.
Yeah,
You can
I
listen to
mean,
it for free at any point
It's
in
a
time.
cool
Yeah.
idea, and the one guy that was talking was like, even if technology fails and blah blah, I still know that this is my dad's voice, this sound wave.
Yeah, but you got to hope that their technology that's hosting it online doesn't fail because
Yeah.
it's
Or they
not
go out
what
of
it says.
business.
And it
right,
might.
right, right.
Yeah.
But he's like, I still know that behind
Right, I
that,
guess,
even if I
yeah.
can't hear it. But then in another review, one of the people was just like, it's just like a complicated way of hit and play.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a squiggly line.
You
Right,
can
right.
have the message on your phone and just hit play.
I'll back it up on a bunch of jump drives and I'll be fine.
I mean, I
Yeah.
get it's the sentiment and it's kind of cool and it's like, hey, dude, like,
Right.
then you got to download the, check this out.
People are
Right.
very sentimental when it comes to tattoos.
Oh, well,
Right,
especially
yeah.
for
Not me.
something like,
I got super shit faced and got the only tattoo I got, and that, whatever it is, what it is. But
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, like I would understand if it was like a laser tattoo done so it was perfectly done and something could physically read it and transcribe
Anything
that.
reads
Right.
that.
Yeah, that
Like
would
a
be
barcode.
cool. Like
Yeah.
a barcode.
Like a
yeah.
standardized.
But it's probably just some guy who makes squiggly lines that resemble
Yeah.
your squiggly lines.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't
So-
even do a barcode tattoo that reads, even if it's precise. I don't think they
Right.
On
people
your
get
skin?
barcode tattoos, but I don't think you can actually.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'll try it
Yeah.
out. You got a pen?
Barcode tattoos.
Then you put on some weight, you get some stretch marks, and now the Soundwave
Different
looks
code.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
So we thought this thing was.
Would that just slow
interesting.
down what they were saying?
Yeah. I love you.
Stretch it out, yeah.
Oh, sorry. She said that 15 years ago when I was 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah, I got it on my stomach because I wore a bikini back then.
Right.
Then I had 6 kids.
I love it. I mean, at first glance, it seemed like a really cool, like it was a cool story. It was like, oh,
Cool
that's neat.
idea.
And then it's like,
Right.
is it?
Yeah. Eh.
Yeah, you're kind of fooling people to buy your software.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
And it's the tattoo artist probably makes a ton on it, and those are pretty easy to just.
I don't
Bunch of
know if it
lines?
was
Bunch of lines.
it was $9 a year or $9 a month. I'm thinking it's
Gotta be a year. There's
but-
no way you could sell that $9 a month.
Well, it
I'd
depends.
rather have XM radio for $9 a month.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But-
some of these stories that they hit you with the heart.
Oh, I'm
punch.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, it's my baby's first sound.
Right.
Most of 'em-
squeezing out of the vagina. Or
Is your
the
baby
baby's
dead?
first cry.
No, baby's still making sounds?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
So-
those sounds.
All right. I
Right.
guess you guys can check that out if it's
It's called Soundwave Tattoo.
tattoos.
The idea of a Soundwave is kind of cool,
And
but I
it's-
think the gimmick of reading it and the hosted file
Yeah.
is
Eh.
they're swindling you.
Yeah, you've got to have that app, and you've got to have upload it, and you got to keep paying for it. The website I think is Skin Motion, or the company
Because
behind it.
I'm not a big tattoo guy. I like if I was to have one, it would be like super classy, and the little squiggly line that could be classy, and then
Yeah.
no one knows exactly what it is, but you know, and
Right.
that's
And you
I
know
think
what?
that's
This
kind
guy,
of cool.
if this does pick up, this guy's going to be making a shit ton for all the tattoo artists around that want to be trained by
Right.
Right.
yeah, the officially licensed.
Right.
officially licensed
'Cause they list
Soundwave
the-
is $10,000.
Right.
They list the people on their site that are trained to do these tattoos that you
Right.
have to go to.
And I'm
to
sure
get
they
it.
got to pay in to be on the list of whoever to go do that.
Yep.
So
And I'm guessing it's just a matter of they've got to have the clean lines around it to.
I don't think
Yeah,
they're
I don't know.
certified to do anything. I think they just
Yeah.
paid the fee to be
Yeah.
on the
Probably
list.
answered 8 questions on an online
They'll bring
quiz.
in a
Right.
stencil. You tattoo
Yeah.
the stencil.
Right. Can you draw a
get-
straight line? Good. Good.
Check.
Yep.
That's about the list there.
Yeah.
Do you have black ink?
All right. So that is cool. Kind of. And then you think about if you don't think about it, it's cool.
Like most things.
Right.
All right. Did you guys hear about the missing Iowa family found dead on vacation in a condo in Mexico?
No.
Yeah.
I saw the headline, but I didn't read it.
Oh, this is like would be on Unsolved Mysteries. This whole story should have like a fog machine with that guy walking in.
I love it.
This family just all of a sudden they were posting all these pictures in Mexico and they were supposed to meet another couple. Never showed up to anything. And the friends that were down there got concerned. And Iowa couple and 2 children were found dead in a rented apartment. All died that night. No violence. Nothing missing. Just all 4 of them dead.
Huh.
And they don't know anything else. When I listened to the story,
They
there was
won't
like no
say
details.
anything else. The autopsy report's not in.
First
drank
thought
it.
is like carbon
whole
monoxide
family.
or something.
They drank the water.
Yeah.
They say don't
They-
drink the water.
Maybe they're all allergic.
Right.
But the drinking the water doesn't kill you. It just makes you violently
It
ill.
doesn't
Maybe
kill
they
you
drank a
quickly.
It's
lot
unpleasant.
of it. Right.
Yes. So
They all shat themselves to death.
Yep.
no.
Maybe it was that, like, the whole can you fart yourself to death? Maybe they were in a very enclosed space and they were all.
Too many beans.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think it's
It's fascinating. I would love to see a documentary on it once they know everything and have the big reveal at the end. That'd be really
Right.
cool.
I think
I'd watch
this would
that.
be long enough for an Unsolved Mysteries. Bring it back for this.
Sure. Sure.
If you or anyone you know has any information on
Yeah. And why these people are dead. So I just know we like going to Mexico, and now
Yeah.
I'd be worried about.
Right.
Am I going to wake
So
up?
were they at a resort or
Yeah,
was
so
it
it
It was
a
in
cabin?
Cancun,
You
and
guys
I
go to
rented a
resorts.
condo.
Yeah.
We go to resorts.
so you're like on a campus.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
Don't leave the campus.
No.
No.
Except on their excursions where you're
In their
going-
armored cars.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, in their booze.
Food at dinner.
Was it? It was a mom, a dad, and 3 kids.
2
2
kids.
kids. Yeah.
Family of 4.
Do we smell a conspiracy here?
Ooh. Should we call 5? That could be our What the Fuck with 5 segment this week.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, everything else I got coming up here for events is going to be what holiday's coming up? Easter.
Good Friday.
Easter.
And we don't talk religion, so you guys,
We don't get preachy. We will talk about
we have Easter
Christmas.
Bunny facts.
and St. Patrick's Day.
Well, we're going to talk about the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
So there.
All right.
We're not here to tell you about the Savior and how he died for you on the cross, don't you know?
Yeah. All right.
Molly's looking at me like I'm a jackass.
No, I'm just you're on the edge of losing $1 out of
Nope.
your pocket.
Yeah, the don't you know is really what sold it as a joke.
Okay. Some Easter Bunny facts. It may have come from, because it's kind of weird, the Easter Bunny. It's a bunny that hides eggs.
Spring
Right.
Doesn't make eggs.
How does he carry them all?
How does he...
baskets.
Well, if he wants you to find them, why is he hiding them?
Yeah, what a prick.
It may have come from the pagan goddess of fertility, with some help from a brother Grimm. Ooh. That's not that interesting, and it gets a little religious, so I saw Virgin Mary, so we're going to skip
I thought you were going to say
All right, well-
ancient Roman religion. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
I don't
These
think
were
anyone
Easter Bunny
practiced. I
facts.
think we can drop it.
Or it may come from a myth about a goddess's bird. Okay.
That sounds way more in line. Yeah.
Other scholars, however, think the Easter Bunny originated from the Anglo-Saxon myth about Ostre, E-O-S-T-R-E. According to the myth, the goddess was entertaining a group of kids one day. To make them laugh, she transformed her pet bird into a rabbit, giving it the ability to lay colored eggs.
I was going to
Why
say,
doesn't
how did
that
it
sound
change
right?
from a bird to a... Okay, that makes sense.
Ostre then gave the eggs to the children. A similar myth portrays a more malevolent Ostre who turned her pet bird into a rabbit or hare because she was enraged.
That would make sense why it's a rabbit with eggs, too.
Right.
It was a bird.
So that's pretty much all.
So the rabbit still lays eggs because it was a bird, or those are its...
And it gave him away to the children to eat? Those are its children.
Yeah. Awesome. Pennsylvania Dutch introduced the Osterhaus to the U.S. Or what are Oster? Molly, help me with this word. Taught their children about Osterhaus or Osterhase, a hare from German folklore that gave color eggs. Osterhaus.
Yeah,
To
that
prepare
sounds
for Osterhaus' arrival, German and German American kids built a small nest or basket. Well, it does make sense if you're getting eggs. It's kind of a nesty.
Sure.
Over time, the Osterhaus character gained popularity and was Americanized, morphing into the Easter Bunny. Here's a Bible one. We'll get that. In Australia,
What?
it's the Easter bilby. Can you guys see this thing?
It looks
There's
kind of
one
like a chinchilla.
Looks like a chinchilla mixed with a
A
possum.
kangaroo?
So they don't. It's the
Little
Easter
Wolfite.
bilby. Rather than celebrate Easter with bunnies, Australians are increasingly ushering in fall.
Yeah,
they're
because
on
it's
the other
fall
side
over
of
there.
the
Yeah,
globe.
their
Fall.
Christmas
It's
is in
Alright.
summer.
Yeah. So Easter fall is different. And the bilby, also called rabbit bandicoots.
Oh,
or bilbies.
yeah,
So they're
the bandicoot.
bandicoots. Okay. Bilbies are Australian marsupials with long rabbit-like ears. Things began looking grim for bilbies 2 centuries ago when new predators and disease were introduced. Then European rabbits and invasive species took off. Few were released more than 150 years ago. Bleh.
Oh, well, put another shrimp on the barbie.
Another
Billy,
The bandicoot.
Yeah.
yeah, another bandicoot. In other countries, you'll find the Easter bell, wizard, and cuckoo.
Well, that sounds way cooler. Why don't we get to do that?
Yeah, most believe that a flying church bells travel to the Vatican and bring back chocolate treats for
Yeah, that seems
children.
far more reasonable than a bunny.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
flying church bells that bring me chocolate.
Yep. I like
Okay.
it.
In Sweden, kids dress up as wizards and witches rather than bunnies. That's cooler. And in Switzerland, the Easter cuckoo is a bird, symbol of spring with the holiday. Okay.
All right.
All right, we're trying to... A sensory-friendly Easter bunny caters to kids with autism. This sensory-friendly carrying is greeted and posed with photos with children with autism. Why can't a regular Easter bunny do that? That's what you were saying? Like, why do we need a special autism Easter bunny?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to hell, but what would an autistic Easter Bunny look like?
I'm not real sure.
Okay.
I'm sure it would be super productive and nice and a fun bunny to
Yes.
be around.
I don't think we need the autism one. Just let the autism one with the regular one. Hey, man, you go see that Easter Bunny. What? Oh, 2 lines? Wouldn't that be weird? Okay.
Be quicker service.
Famous people love donating Easter Bunny costumes. Actors and singers such as Mariah Carey, Madonna, David Beckham, Miley Cyrus, Snoop Dogg, Kanye West all share photos of themselves wearing Easter Bunny costumes.
Yeah, if I was famous, I think it'd be kind of fun to dress up
Is the Easter
and
Bunny?
not be famous for a day.
I dressed as the Easter Bunny one year and went out on the
Yes, you
Rock
did.
River on the jet ski
That was awesome.
to deliver Easter eggs.
So,
And,
famous celebrity Sam Fisher is
right.
also
Yeah, also, yeah.
Also, throw that in there.
Yeah, it was a little brisk that day, but it was a great plan in theory, and then for some reason it was really cold.
Yeah.
And I had
Were you covered head to toe?
It was a full-out Easter Bunny suit, yes.
Yeah, and he was on the lake.
I can try and get you guys the picture.
Oh, we
I
would
have,
love
I
that.
have pictures. And from where I launched the jet ski to get up to where I was going, where all the kids were out doing the Easter Bunny hunt, was quite the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because all these other families are out doing Easter egg hunts and stuff. You know, it's Sunday morning, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just buzzed the shoreline all along Lake Mississippi. And
Where they all
here I
taking
am. Oh,
pictures.
yeah. All these people are standing
Easter
out there,
Bunny.
and they're just like staring in disbelief as I go blind 70 miles an hour past them on a jet ski in a full-out Easter Bunny suit. My ears were bent back, 100, straight back, flying past them. Hey, happy Easter. And,
I don't buy it.
right, yeah.
Bunnies don't lay eggs.
Right. It's all
That's what you
bullshit.
don't believe?
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was
Yeah,
a
but
good
that
time.
had to be fun for the kids to see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they loved it. And
Hey,
surprisingly,
aren't
none
you
of the
supposed
kids
to be working
recognized
today?
me. Right, yeah. I'm done already.
U.S. Press Secretary Sean Spicer was once the White House Easter Bunny. I guess they have the annual Easter egg roll, which began in 1878. Damn, this goes back a while.
Oh, yeah.
Children and families to the president's home for egg hunting and musical performances.
So there.
Yeah, it's a good feel-good thing. Why not?
Sure.
It's like pardoning the turkey.
Yeah, I suppose. But do you really want to bring your kid to that? Because you know, if he's snooping around the White House,
Depends who
there
the president is.
a red dot on him.
Right.
Don't get too close to the fence, Billy. Or
Yeah.
You'll be hit with a surface-to-air missile.
Don't go into Bill Clinton's Oval Office, Billy.
Oh, man.
That's political. I can't do that.
Right.
You ain't coming out. Okay. Chocolate bunnies are insanely popular, of course.
It's always that big letdown when you find out it's hollow.
Halloween and Easter are the two big holidays for candy sales, with Easter sometimes coming out on top. Wow, at least in dollar sales. Each year, Americans spend over $2
for Halloween,
billion.
there isn't like a special Halloween candy. It's all like just bite-sized, fun-sized things. Whereas Easter, it's Peeps, it's
Well,
chocolate
no,
covered.
no. You got the pumpkin, like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups does the shapes for every season.
Yeah, but that's
So at
not
least you got
nearly.
that.
That's not as like iconic
That's
as
true.
the chocolate Easter bunny.
That's true. Tom,
Versus
I
you could
just
just
sent you the Easter Bunny on the jet ski pictures.
Oh, yes. I will get that up
Yeah.
shortly here. All right, that is our Easter egg facts. Okay. Oh, I got to bring up this thing because our local event, we got some Easter egg hunts, and I was looking up some Easter egg hunts around the area,
got one in Tom's bedroom.
which now my computer is flagged.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But I think this is cool. Milwaukee County Zoo Egg Day. They have an Easter egg hunt.
As they should.
Yeah, it's going to be
Until some animal eats an egg and dies.
It'll be
Or a child.
March 31st.
Kid
and-
breaks into the ostrich enclosure.
Right.
Kids under 8 can search for special Easter-themed tokens and redeem them for sweet treats. Oh, so they're not hiding eggs. I think, you would realize that they're not all going to be found.
Right.
So you can't just have rotten eggs at the zoo. You got to keep it clean.
Instead, we'll just throw chunks of metal all over.
Wait,
But-
rotten eggs? You actually hide real eggs?
Well, yeah.
We
Yeah,
always
we
did
did
the
real
plastic
eggs.
shells filled with
Oh,
like
you do
a
both. You do the
bite-sized candy
plastic
bar.
ones indoor and real ones outdoor.
No,
Really?
my parents
Oh, yeah.
hid real eggs with money underneath.
Oh.
What the fuck?
I would like that game way more.
We
See,
lost an egg one
I
time.
hate eggs.
Found it.
I don't eat eggs in any
Are they
way,
hard-boiled,
shape,
or-
form. Yeah. You're supposed to hard boil them and then you dye them or whatever. But so Easter egg hunts were always just a raw deal for me because I'd like collect all these eggs and I'm like, okay, who
I don't
wants
want
them? Right? I don't.
Well, I figured out the Easter Bunny wasn't real fairly early because the next morning I was finding eggs that I died.
Right. Wait a minute.
You just hid my eggs.
Yeah. Well, the Easter Bunny can't carry all those eggs, so he just, you got to die them, leave them there for him, and then he hides them, and you go collect them again.
These eggs aren't free, Tom.
Right.
I think at one point I was finding the gimme eggs when we lost it, like 50 cents under here, whatever. And then, like, my dad started getting low on change, and I started finding, like, 3 pennies under one.
Right.
I'm like, dude.
Hey, that's a wheat penny.
I'm not even looking if they're going to be 3 pennies now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm done. I got my 87 cents. That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister hides, like, $1 and $5 for her kids.
Yeah, that's like the tooth fairy.
She got room for one
Prices
more kid?
went up for that, too.
Really?
Yeah. God.
I used to get $2 bills. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. See, that's true.
I got a quarter.
You got a quarter from
Yeah,
the tooth
for
fairy?
teeth?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, cheap-ass tooth fairy.
Hey, you got a Jewy-ass tooth fairy. He lowballed the shit out of you.
Right.
You should have saved them till now.
I would have
known that.
I would ask for my tooth back.
Yeah.
Keep your damn quarter.
I'll give you 35 cents.
Yeah, no negotiating.
36. I found a penny.
Yeah. So you can go to the zoo. That'll be cool. Oh, and also to any middle-aged men out there, if you plan a zoo day, skip Easter at the zoo day.
Right.
Because that's just not going to look good if you're walking
Single
around
middle-aged men
Yes,
by
right,
themselves.
right, yeah.
taking pictures of
No
animals.
kids, right,
No
yeah.
kids. Make sure you go that day with kids. It's
Yeah.
just
But what if they bring candy to give to the children?
I think that's extremely worse. So much worse.
Yes.
yeah. You can't do that. You
Right.
can't give candy to kids
At the
anymore.
movie theater I work at, we have a regular customer who comes in for every movie except little kid movies.
Yeah.
Because he comes in by himself,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want anyone. He thinks it's too weird.
Right,
If he goes to the kid movie,
I'll wait
by
for him on
himself.
DVD. I'll watch him at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we'll just do one more local event, just because this is probably one we've all done in this room, I'm guessing. River Edge Nature Center. Have we all been there for an event? School field trip?
Yeah,
Yeah.
field trips.
Where is it?
I don't even know.
Okay, River Edge Nature Center. Oh, shit. Easter egg hunt for children. See, they got to put ages on that. For all ages.
So we can show up.
I'm a child at heart.
Let's go.
I'm somebody's
Right.
I
kid.
want a 16-year-old kid just kicking.
Right.
16,
Right.
27-year-old
Throwing 'em
kid.
Yeah. It's $5 for your
Oh,
kids.
it must be good shit then. If it costs
It's
Yeah.
458 County
Regner's
Road
free.
Y, Saukville, Wisconsin. Call. I guess you can be part of the Nature Center because if you have a membership,
Oh,
it's
wow.
$5. If you don't, I think it's $8.
Gee dang.
But it's a cool place. I mean, especially for field trips.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
There's a lot on my pages that I printed, so I didn't read everything. Hold on. This is a candy-free hunt, and prizes will be awarded to all participants
What?
after the hunt.
Is it money?
Lame.
And then discover the wonders of Wisconsin egg-laying animals and color eggs. Okay.
And you got to pay money to go?
And there's
Yeah.
no candy.
And there's no candy. But there's prizes to everyone.
Non-members is 7, members is 5.
What kind of prizes do you give out
Right.
for little kids that aren't candy?
Ooh.
Those little parachuting
Maybe
army guys.
not.
Fruit.
Yeah, it'll be something lame like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Oh,
like the
look, it's
people on-
baby carrots.
Like the people on Halloween that give out apples or pennies. Like, get the hell out of here.
I had a lady that every
Toothbrushes.
year,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hated her just because she gave out candy apples, not wrapped.
What?
So
what are you supposed to do with
You have
it?
to just hold it. You got your bag in this hand and your damn apple in this hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, trick or treat. Here, just open the bag, put it in there, and then hand me the bag back. Yeah. I got to hold this stupid fucking apple.
Candy apple.
Right.
I'd throw it in a bag, and it's like, okay, this is all
full
covered
of
in
candy.
grimy
Right.
candy wrappers. And,
Yeah. Fantastic.
and I hated
That's
the
going right
pennies
in the
and the
garbage.
toothbrushes.
Right. That all stuck to your apple when you threw it in
Yeah.
the bag. Right.
Like, oh, fuck, I got 6 pens and a toothbrush on my candy apple. And she used the big apples where the caramel wasn't the right consistency of
Right.
a caramel apple because there wasn't enough on it.
Sure,
The apple's
right.
too big.
The caramel would have to be a 1/4 inch thick just to.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll just end with that. Sorry, maybe don't go to River Ridge.
Okay.
Unless
fine.
you have a diabetic child that can't have candy.
Right. In which case, perfect
Then
opportunity.
this is good.
Yeah.
Send all your diabetic children to River Edge for a non-candy Easter.
So there.
All right. Oh, and another Easter tip coming up for anybody who likes pea soup here and makes pea soup.
I love pea soup.
Me too. Buy your peas now
Why?
because they run out after you do. Everybody has ham on Easter, so you get the ham bones, and then
okay.
everybody
All right.
makes pea soup.
Fair enough.
We had it one year. We didn't do the trick. We just went after Easter,
Right.
and there was a giant empty spot where all the dried peas were.
Son
Like
of a-
everybody making their pea soup. So
Yeah.
get it early.
All right.
Your mom's pea soup is the only pea soup that I
Oh,
eat.
it's good.
That hurts, Molly. I had you guys over for pea soup once.
Except for yours, Mark.
I
because
recall
yours is
Tom even
also
said
good.
it was better than his mom's. And I was
Shut
all
up. I
like,
just gave a shout out to my mom, you dick.
You know she's
Totally
listening.
ruined that.
Right.
You know she's listening. God damn it.
oh,
No,
she
Ma.
turned it off
Right.
after the bowel update.
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
The bowel did look like she had a pea soup.
Oh man. Oh man.
Awesome.
Ate it or just it looked the same.
It looked like she sneezed it into this
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah, right.
I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barb, for so many things.
Yeah. Maybe Ma's going to cancel her subscription to our show.
Our only subscriber.
And she's disowning you.
Yep. Done.
All right. Well, that's okay. She can't catch me right now. She's not running too fast.
Right.
All right. So I want to do like a prelude to the interview, like a pre-interview interview.
Why don't I tell you what? Why don't we do like a interview before the interview?
Okay.
Like if we did like a preview interview to the interview.
We'll
Well,
do a
I
regular
have
interview and then a post interview.
Kind of.
Oh yeah, we can do that way too. We just do like one interview before the other, and you can call it whatever the hell you want.
And then next week we'll do the prequel.
Yeah.
The post interview.
Post interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mark and I are very layman on like motocross terms.
Okay.
So would you consider it even motocross? Because I have kind of a history of motocross.
Nope.
Nope.
Not even close.
Turn that shit off.
Close that screen.
So we're doing the interview.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming. This is the end of the show. I have nothing. Okay.
Okay, so where you're at now?
I just want to know
flat
certain
track,
things like
not motocross. Do history of flat track. Search that quick. It's just changed one part of that.
history of.
Flat track racing, not motocross.
You're making him change things.
Well, hey, we're on the fly now.
Well,
That piece right there will get us nowhere to anything I do.
What's the difference between
So-
motocross
There you go.
and
Tell us
flat
the
track?
difference.
So,
That's the
so
first
motocross,
question.
what you're looking up right there, motocross is dirt bikes on a
A bumpy course? The-
jumps and
Okay,
whatever.
I've seen those.
What I do is flat track racing. It's an oval. It's smooth.
Okay.
No jumps of any kind, anything like that.
Okay, but I still think this is where you can help us with some jargon because they're talking about two different engines. Do you guys use like the same engines?
You're looking at 2-stroke, 4-stroke. Is that what you're looking at?
And that means nothing
But that's what's on there.
except a better girl gives a 2-stroke.
No, the better girl gives a 4-stroke.
Oh, you want it to last?
Yeah.
I want her to get it over.
All right.
I
Well,
thought you
either
wanted
way.
efficiency here.
Right.
So 2-stroke engines hit the scene. What is a 2-stroke engine?
So 2-stroke
So
versus
that
4-stroke.
we can't get through with this.
Sure. Sure. Yes, we can.
Okay.
We can apply some of this towards this. The flat track racing in general uses both engines. There's guys that flat track 2-strokes. There's guys that flat track 4-strokes.
But what is a stroke? Sorry.
So long story short, the easiest way to explain it is the way the motors operate. So you think
the,
of
the piston, right? It goes up and down
Correct.
4 times between revolution or twice per revolution.
per firing.
Per firing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So you talk about like a weed whacker, a leaf blower, real high pitch, whatever.
Yeah.
That's 2-stroke. So anything you hear, and a lot of street motorcycles that you see aren't 2-strokes, so you don't see a lot of that. And then you talk about like a Harley, the big rumble, the low tone, whatever. That's a 4-stroke. So
Okay.
and they make dirt bikes, they make all these motorcycles in 2-strokes and 4-strokes, and so yeah.
In your opinion, what's the
Better
big difference? Why would anyone want a 2-stroke if you could have a 4-stroke?
There's a lot of differences between the two. I think there's a lot of personal preference that goes into it too. 2-strokes they make more power with less motor.
So better fuel efficiency.
I don't know that necessarily it's better fuel efficiency, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you that. But just power per cc. So like a 250cc two-stroke versus a 450cc four-stroke is very comparable.
What is
like
a cc?
Cubic centimeters. How big the engine is. Yep.
Oh, just size of the engine.
Correct.
Okay.
So the
we
classes,
have different cc's in
Mario Kart?
Right, yeah, like the 150 cup, the 250 cup, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
But so in the different classes, like motocross, they have in the 450 class you could run a 252 stroke, which is they make comparable power, or a 125 two-stroke is comparable to a 254 stroke. So, four strokes make more power on the bottom end. Two strokes are more real high RPM motors.
You gotta slow it down even more. Power on the bottom end.
Okay, so if you
You're making love.
driving,
You're making
right, yeah.
Power bottom.
So think
This
about
is what I'm
driving.
hearing.
Think about driving a
This
stick
is
shift,
how layman we are.
a stick shift car. Okay, so you take off from a stop sign. You guys have driven stick shift vehicles. You take off from a
No.
stop sign. Never.
When I was a lot attendant, they let me try once,
Come on,
and then like never do that again.
never. Don't do that.
Well, they parked the cars too close. I can't get in there on a stick shift when I am just
Right,
Jerking
jerking
around.
all over. Yeah.
yeah.
So when you take off from a stop sign, your RPMs climb as you drive, right? And they drop and
Revolutions
shift.
of what per minute?
Revolutions per minute of the engine.
What's revolving?
The
transmission?
crankshaft.
What's crank? You see, we're
Everything
Do you know anything
inside
about
the motor.
motors?
Right,
I know
right,
a little bit about motors.
right. That's way too
you want
much
your
to try
body
and
fixed.
back.
I can blow your mind.
Right.
I can't fix your car. I can't. Yeah.
Right. No, that's fine. But essentially, so here's a way to explain torque versus horsepower. Horsepower gets you to the wall. Okay. Torque is how far you can push the wall. So torque gets you moving. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Inertia.
if you're pulling a trailer behind a pickup truck. If you got 1,000 horsepower but only have 100 foot-pounds of torque, it ain't gonna go anywhere.
Like when you stick your finger in a fan, it has a lot of. It doesn't have any torque because it stops. Once
You
it
can
hits
stop
you.
it, correct? But it's spinning a
Crazy
million miles
fast.
an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the torque, as far as motorcycle racing, you're coming out of a corner on a four-stroke versus a two-stroke. If you grab a handful of throttle coming out of the corner, the four-stroke has more torque, more grunt to get you going, to
Grab
get you
a
moving.
handful of throttle.
Correct.
Throttle is the gas pedal?
Yes. Hand, not throttle.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
it's
not
a
foot.
hand.
Yes, it's on the handlebars. Wow. Yes.
I really
Did you
should
do
not be.
snowmobile or anything? Or
No, I had no need for speed, dude.
I should have just brought a motorcycle. We could have brought it right up here. I could have
You know
pointed
that
at
song
things.
that
Yeah.
the Can't Drive 55 or whatever? That's
yeah.
Tom's theme
I'm a
song.
grandpa driver my whole life.
I get it. A friend of mine is. I just had to drive to Appleton with him yesterday to pick up another motorcycle, and it drove me crazy. The whole way up, I'm sitting in the passenger seat going, come on.
He's always yelling at me for going too fast.
Oh, no, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm always yelling at people for going too
Safety
damn
first,
slow.
man.
Oh, you can be safe and go the speed limit.
Not if a deer jumps up in front of you.
Right, exactly. But, so there's a ton of different kind of bikes. A ton. And to get into that, my goodness, we don't have enough time.
Oh, we don't have.
But-
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I was just trying to get some basic jargon to get me through. But now you're realizing I even have less than you thought.
Right.
I'm way behind.
That's all right.
Oh, and that sucked when I sold cars for about a month. And I'm like, dude, I know nothing about cars.
Right.
And my head manager is like, you don't need to know a thing
You
to
got
sell
a pretty
cars.
face.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're likable. People like you. You don't need... First customer on the first day walks up to me. What's the difference between four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive? Duh. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, right. I didn't need to know anything about cars.
Right.
I'm like, let me go get my manager. Oh, yeah, I want to buy a car from you.
Right. Yeah.
You don't know something simple? No, I didn't know models of cars. I couldn't tell you a car driving by what it is.
Right.
I knew nothing. It's a blue car.
Yep. You just got to have
That's
all
where
the
I'm at.
training manuals right on your desk. Yeah, here, come here. We'll sit down and read it through and figure it
We'll
out.
work it out together.
Exactly.
As a team.
Yeah.
You
Let
don't
them
wanna
be
not-
part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me come down to your level and we'll figure this out together.
Yeah.
So you just got to spin it around on them like they're the idiot. Yeah.
Listen, we got to start from scratch.
Let me
dumbass.
just get the book and I can show you in black and white what the difference is. My God, come on.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah, let me just read it here for you, word for word, as I learn with you.
I'm going to highlight this as a good part.
Right.
Yeah. There were stupid things that I didn't know, like, how's your alternator? I think it's full.
Yeah. Full. Perfect.
It's full, dude. I checked all those fluids.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, hey, can you grab that brake fluid line for me? I'm just looking around.
Right.
It's that one over there. Yeah, but there's two next to each other. You don't know it's this color?
Nope.
No.
I don't know anything under the hood. I just know conceptually how things work.
Sure.
Okay.
In general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know torque because I studied arm wrestling. That's where.
See, there you go.
So that's
You got
where
a
the torque.
general idea.
So RPMs don't win arm wrestling.
Right.
No,
You're
torque
doing
does.
something wrong if you got RPMs going in arm wrestling.
Because you start not moving.
Right.
If you let me run across the building and high five your hand while we start the match,
Yeah, then
RPMs will help you.
Yeah.
Dude's just sitting there waiting for me, and I'm on a 3-point stance sprint.
Tackle him across the room.
Yeah, that. Hey, maybe I should have asked that for a handicap. All right, I think since we're probably going to get nowhere with this, we can just start the basic interview here.
Oh,
All right, well, since we're talking about engines. and
Since
stuff,
one question of two.
Right.
I've never driven a motorcycle.
Okay.
I've driven snowmobiles
Sure.
and four-wheelers. But do motorcycles have transmissions?
Yeah, I mean, they make, so say like a moped. A lot of mopeds are just an automatic, centrifugal transmission, so it's a belt drive. Like a snowmobile.
No, I'm
yes.
kidding.
What's that?
The fuck are you talking
Right.
about?
Heads mean feet.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a snowmobile. You squeeze the throttle. It's
it goes.
essentially an automatic. Yes.
Yeah.
That's like what a moped is.
That's all I know.
Yep. So that's mopeds, and they do make some bigger motorcycles now that are the same way. They do make automatic transmission motorcycles as well now, but most motorcycles are manual transmission. Yes. So
Okay.
full clutch, gears, whatever.
Because again, you wouldn't want automatic if you're racing.
Well, you'd be surprised in what we do in the circle track. You gear the bike to only use one speed. So obviously taking off from a stop at the start line, you're going to shift, to whatever gear you need to be in. But depending on the track size, you might be running first gear the whole time. You might be, so we race like some indoor races where very small, very tight, and you're running first gear the whole time.
Small, like the size of a basketball court?
Hockey rink.
Okay.
Flat Out Friday, the Mama Tried show in Milwaukee that we run, that's every year in October and February, or February, whatever, February, is 80 by 200, standard hockey rink size. That's the outside of the track. And then figure the track's probably 30 feet wide. So inside to inside is pretty narrow. So that you're running first gear the whole time. So you gear the bike up to be in the best power range RPM-wise for that. And in a race like that, you're running about 35 miles an hour top speed.
Okay.
Whereas then you run like a half-mile oval dirt track outdoor, in which case then you're running fourth gear. So I'll take off from the start line in first, shift second, third, fourth, and then you're running fourth gear that entire time after you get going. So you'll come out of the corner lower in your RPMs, and you floor it, and you drive down the straightaway and it goes faster and faster and faster, and then you slow down in the corner again, and then you come faster and faster and faster. So you're only using fourth gear, the bottom range of fourth, all the way up to the top, and then back down through the corner. You slow down.
Shifting or anything
you
like
don't,
that?
Nope. And you set up the bike accordingly. It's different for every track, but you'll set up the bike to run one gear. And again, smaller tracks you run second gear or third gear. Bigger tracks you run fourth gear, whatever. But you don't want to be shifting. Whereas like motocross or road racing or plenty of other racing where you do, but.
So even when those guys are doing jumps, they're actually working.
Nope. So in motocross where they're going over jumps and stuff, yes, they're shifting a ton.
And you don't see that as an audience member who knows
Not
nothing
really
about it.
Correct. You wouldn't notice. Maybe if you listen to it, you'd hear the sound of it, but again, there's so many bikes and nobody's shifting all at the same time, so it's not something you would if you watched one bike out there on a motocross track by itself. Yes, you'd notice a difference, hear the difference.
Well, I'm just saying, as talent for a driver, you don't know that he's even thinking about this
Correct.
constantly.
Nope, exactly.
His mind is racing.
Right. But there's a lot going on. Yep.
A lot going on. Just looks like a guy's having fun
Right.
doing a wheelie.
Right. But you think of like NASCAR even. I mean, that's circle track, similar, I guess, to what we do. They're not shifting. They're running fourth gear the whole time. And they slow down around the corner a little bit, and floor it down the straightaway, slow down around the corner a little bit, and to a lot of people that seems extremely boring.
Yeah.
Well, I can see how it would be fun to do.
It is.
Not for me, man.
Right.
I do.
Well, it's like a chess match because you're always trying to get the placement and
it is.
all that kind
There's
of
a
stuff.
lot of things, and motorcycles and on dirt is much different than NASCAR. And I'm not saying NASCAR isn't difficult by any means or anything like that. But
I'm not saying NASCAR is a bunch of pussies.
right.
But NASCAR is a bunch of pussies.
Right.
Okay.
Even NASCAR with me, dude. I'd be the first pace car to get lapped by the whole pack.
Right. Like Ricky Bobby after his big crash. Oh my God, what was that? Was that the other cars?
Yeah. I'd be the car that's going so slow it slides down the bank ramp.
Right, exactly. Just
You
sitting on
can't
the
even
bottom.
hold me up there. 'cause
Right.
I'm just-
And you'd be surprised how extremely steep that stuff is too. We were just on at Daytona International Speedway last week, and I'd never walked up on that track or anything. You see it on TV, and you go, yeah, that's pretty steep. And you go walk up those in the corners, and it's damn near vertical. It's insane. It's crazy. So,
a lot of physics goes into that too. You need to have a team that
yeah, I would think.
has taken at least physics 2.
Right. Yeah. Nothing I want to even try and comprehend or figure out.
Well, let's talk about your last couple races. You had some good ones going on, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Recently, we just, over the winter is kind of our downtime. I would think like end of October until February is kind of our off season, where we, for flat tracking anyway, we do ice racing to try and just keep up and have something to do.
We could go out in the lake and just race.
Yeah. We have special ice tires, studded ice tires that we'll put on. We have ridden the Harleys on the ice. We did take our Harleys out there this year with ice tires on them. That's surprisingly similar to riding on dirt. You wouldn't think it would be, but you put enough studs in the tires and it grips.
You see, once you get that
about the
first
same.
taste for speed, Mark, it never dies. It's the hunger like a
Right.
vampire.
Exactly.
You need it all the time, constantly
Right.
increasing.
Oh, it's 0 degrees outside and there's nothing else to do. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to put a bunch of screws and tires and go ride motorcycles on the ice.
Yep.
All right,
Vampire.
perfect.
Did you? Not to. Well, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Was there a Dr. Pepper race? Did you participate in
Yeah.
that?
Yep. So that was that's actually the first one we did this year, and that's the Flat Out Friday Mama Tried show down in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center. That it's an indoor race. That's the one on the hockey rink, 80 by 200 circle oval, and they put down Dr. Pepper syrup.
That's awesome.
And then the reason being, so it's a polished concrete.
So, I was going to say, is this ice?
Nope.
No.
This
Okay,
is
no,
indoor
so it's
on
drained.
concrete.
Okay.
So it's polished concrete floor like your standard garage floor, right? So you get that wet with water and it's slippery as shit, right? Super slick, whatever. Even dry, it's pretty slippery. So what they do is they take like a garden sprayer full of Dr. Pepper syrup.
Or the
and-
So
Dr.
the
Pepper
thick
jet
stuff.
ski guy,
right, yeah.
The
He
thick
rides
stuff that
around
they
it
use
twice.
to make soda.
Yes,
the
not
soda.
just dump a soda out on the floor. No, it's the actual
It's
syrup,
the goo
the
from
real.
the,
Oh.
from
Yep.
those of us from the restaurant industry.
I bet
Yeah,
that
bag.
smelled
Yeah,
awesome.
the bag.
Surprisingly, you don't really smell it. You do when they're
You acclimate the
when they're
smell
putting
too
it
fast.
down. It is, but after it's down on the floor and dries, you don't really smell it.
Even when you're driving around it, and it's like burning. the-
Nope, even walking on it,
Really?
anything. Yeah,
Okay.
initially when they put it down, you can smell it, but after that, you would think, yes, because
Yeah.
it's sticky and visible. And
I
whatever,
would think
you
it
can
would
see
be like caramelized,
Right.
like whatever, and
Yeah.
burning rubber mixed
Yeah.
together.
nothing, no smell after it dries.
It's
but-
a great way to get rid of flies if you have an infestation. Too.
Exactly, they'll just stick there.
Yeah.
So they spray the floor down, and yes, you walk across it, and it'll pull your shoes off. I mean, it's sticky.
Wow.
And the point being, we're obviously racing a bunch of motorcycles in a very confined area of space, and on that concrete can get slippery. So you race on this, and the tires stick to that much better that we can take the corners and we can go faster, and we can, it puts on a better show. So,
All right.
Are you more likely to crash then?
you're going faster when you do.
Or just because now if it's sticking more, you're not going to...
So the promoter that puts on that race has done it, I think, 4 years now. and he's kind of perfected the amount of syrup to put down.
Okay.
It was kind of a trial
First time
trial
it was
by
just
fire.
willy-nilly.
The first time was way sticky, like literally pull your shoes off walking across the floor.
Does that kick up when you're driving too?
No, it doesn't. It will get your tires coated.
Okay.
And it was actually pulling paint off the floor in the
Oh,
pits.
no.
I believe
We
it.
would
Yeah.
drive off the track, drive into the floor, and it's painted concrete floors, and you'd be rolling the bike, and there'd be flakes of paint on your tires that were sticking. It was
And that's
peeling.
not safe.
So don't use
right.
your good tires.
Right, and so it was good and bad. Okay, so it's very, very sticky, right? So you know you got grip 100%. You could pile the bike into the corner, and you know it's going to stick. But then, as the night went on, and more people driving on it, people tip over. There's a little bit of gas spill here or whatever, and they wipe it up. Well, that wipes up some of the syrup with it. So the problem with that was it was really sticky, and then you'd hit spots where it was not really sticky.
Ooh.
So it was very inconsistent, which was not a lot of fun because as much as you wanted to trust it, thinking it was really sticky, then you hit a slick spot, and it just kind of sucked.
See, I'm thinking that would suck too. Like if you did have a bad crash and the paramedics had to get you,
Right.
and they can't pull you off the floor.
Right, yeah, you're just
Stuck
stuck.
to the floor.
Yeah.
Like fly
Hey,
paper.
send more 8 able-bodied men, please.
Right. Everybody
Tell them
grab-
not even to wear shoes when they're running out here.
Exactly. Pulling the skin off the
Step
bottom
on
of
the
their feet.
shoes trail.
Right.
to the
Everybody's
last guy.
38 shoes to get out to the guy. So he's perfected that now. Less and less syrup, or they actually got like a mister instead of just like a pump up garden spray. It mists it on. It puts it on much finer.
Okay.
It's even more consistent grip. It's actually a little slipperier. It's not as sticky, but it's more consistent. Lets the bike slide around a little. It's more similar to dirt, I guess, versus
When you're dealing with speed, trial and error is the best way.
absolutely right.
So is
That's the way
that
to
hard on the
handle it.
bike?
No.
Just the tires.
I would say it rides very comparable to dirt at this point.
Okay.
By the time they got it all
Okay.
figured out and how much to put down and whatever,
All right.
you get a little bit of slide out of the bikes.
And you were just in Daytona too.
So yeah, we had that indoor the Mama Tried show was in February. Daytona is the kickoff for the American Flat Track Series. That's the first race of the season. So we went down. Harley Davidson put on a Hooligan race at Daytona International Speedway as part of the AFT kickoff race. So we went down and did that. That was an invite-only, 25 riders. Got invited to that.
Yeah, but how cool does it sound when you tell somebody, "Yeah, I'm going to Daytona. I'm racing.
Right.
I got invited.
I got invited to
Right,
race
right.
at Daytona." Like,
Well, and
whoa.
it's cool because we so the great thing about this Hooligan series is it's meant to be a lot of the promoters putting these races on have a no pro rule. Okay, so if you're a professional racer,
okay.
you run any of the pro classes, you're excluded from running the Hooligan series. And a lot
Molly,
of
we want to make this sound better, so edit it to where he says, "I am a professional racer."
right, yeah, exactly.
I am a professional
right.
racer.
So they knock those guys out. If you got to be out of the pro series for 2 years to be a Hooligan rider. Is essentially a pretty standardized rule across it so far. Everybody's saying if you held a pro card for the last 2, or if you have not held a pro card in 2 years, you can race Hooligans. So anybody can go out and buy a bike. Just go buy any 86 or newer V twin. It's got to be a stock frame. There's not a whole lot of. It's a pretty loose rule class. Okay, so you can go buy, for instance, a Harley Sportster is what I ride. Put 19-inch wheels and different tires on it.
My mom's suffering from loose rule right now.
Oh no, is that on the comments?
No.
Yeah, she's writing it.
Right.
No, if she was writing it, she'd be like, "I'm gonna kill you."
Right.
She's on so many pain pills, it would just be like XY if you play
Yeah,
5 down.
yeah, exactly.
Caps locks. Now it's together.
Who is that? So yeah, anybody can get into it. But there are a lot of ex-pros that are racing it. And a lot of guys, a lot of bigger names. Kerry Hart, who races motocross, and it's Pink's husband, the artist Pink.
Okay.
Roland Sands Design, RSD. They make a lot of aftermarket parts for motorcycles. Roland Sands himself created a series, RSD Super Hooligan series. He actually races in the series, the owner of the company.
Wow.
And ex-pros from the AMA days, and all kinds of people run this stuff. So it's cool that anybody off the street can go buy a bike, put it together for relatively inexpensive in terms of racing motorcycles, and come out and race with these guys. And it's such a wide span of experience and talent and whatever on the track that you can get a guy that, has never raced anything in his life and said, well, shit, that looks fun. I got a Sportster sitting in my garage. I'm going to throw some different tires on it and go. And he can, and he can come out and there's probably going to be somebody at that same level of skill out there, so it's not like you're going to be the only one out there that's not going 100 miles an hour. You'll have somebody to be competitive with, because there's guys that are slow, there's guys that are kind of fast, there's guys that are stupid fast. And it's it's just a cool series to be in because it's such a wide variety and anybody can do it. And it doesn't cost a ton of money. And like you said, how many times do you get to say, we parked our truck on the front stretch of Daytona International Speedway,
right,
on the front stretch in front of the grandstands. And we got out and started unloading the bikes. And I was sitting there talking to another one of the racers from Pennsylvania. And we said, and again, the same day is the American Flat Track Series kickoff. So there's all these professional riders that have dedicated their life, thus far, very young people, obviously, too, but to racing motorcycles and getting to the level they're at to race at Daytona International Speedway. Yeah. And we're all sitting here going, shit, we just got a phone call 2 weeks ago saying, hey, you guys want to come race at Daytona? And we're like, hell yeah. So here we are standing in the infield at Daytona with all these pro riders and shit, and we're all going, man, this is awesome. Like, I was just working yesterday, and now I'm here standing in Daytona, and whatever.
The front stretch of Daytona.
And there's,
let me see some pictures. I forgot to take pictures.
Right.
God damn it.
Right. And there's guys out there, we raced another race this past Friday up in Minneapolis. We ran up to race, and I was talking to a guy up there, and just a beat up old pile of shit Sportster, and he said, man, I just picked this bike up last week for $600 and put some different tires on it, and he was out there. Yeah. And he goes, I'm having a great time. And whether he's fast or not or in between or whatever, man, he was having a blast. He loved it. So
you did pretty well in that race, I hear.
Yeah. So the one we went up to in Minnesota, I took second in the Pro Hooligan class. We had a bit of bike troubles. So changing gearing. Again, going back to gearing, you want to run one gear for the whole track. Right?
I'll play Minesweeper on the internet here while you...
Right, yeah. I won't get real into it, but anyway, so trying to get the bike set up for this track. So it was a different size track than we were used to. So you got to get the bike to run this fast. And the only way you can do that is by changing sprockets. You don't want to be shifting gears on the track. You want to run
2 feet fast.
Right.
Yeah.
And full rabbit. So when doing that, after the heat races before the semifinals, stripped the axle nut that holds everything together for the rear wheel. Very important piece of the bike. You do not want that to fall off.
Okay.
Stripped the threads out of the nut. And so we put it on backwards and got a couple threads to grab, and it was a little iffy. But we said, well, we're here. I'm not going to not run. So went out and ran. So won the semifinal. Gearing was still a little bit short. So essentially I was running out of speed. I was hitting the rev limiter way early in the straightaway. So as I was hitting my top speed, like 50 feet into the straightaway versus everybody else is still accelerating for another 50 feet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I could hold my speed through the corners just as fast as everybody else. I couldn't gain as much speed down the straightaways, which good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. That's where I was at. I could not do another gearing change because I wasn't going to risk taking that axle nut off and try to put it on again.
Yeah.
So you sticking your leg out trying to block people?
Yeah, right, yeah. Like that old road rage game. You know, pull the baseball bat out from under the seat and be bashing them as they're going by. So we went out in the main, and my buddy JJ Flaherty and I jumped out and got the whole shot off the line. Both got out front. He's a better rider than I am, and he had a faster bike than I am. So he jumped out, and I hung with him for a little bit, and he started to pull away from me pretty easily. But I held second, and it was a pretty decent gap.
That's pretty good.
My sponsor, West Bend Harley.
Yeah, let's talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, the owner, Louis Lauders, and his brother Dan helped me out a ton. Dan didn't come up for this race, but Louis was there. He took third. So it was JJ first, me second, Louis third.
Suck it, Louis.
Yeah. It was funny. We were talking to everybody on the way home. Everybody's like, hey, how'd you guys do? And I finished second. Oh, Louis won it? I'm like, no, JJ won it. Wait, you beat Louis? I said, yeah, I beat Louis. Like, holy shit, what happened? Did his bike break? I'm like, no, I just beat him.
But you know how sponsors work?
Right, yeah. I always joke. There were a lot of my bike number 17. There were a lot of 17 bikes up there on Friday. And they were all doing very well. Like 2 of the classes, number 17 bikes won. Another class, the 17 bike came in second, whatever. So we're sitting in staging before the race, and JJ and I were standing there, and I said, in the class that had ended, the Hooligan amateur class was just coming off the track right before we were about to go out, and number 17 in the Hooligan amateur class won. And so they're pulling in, and everybody's high-fiving him as he comes by, And I said, JJ, did you see that? I said, that was another 17 bike. I said, this is just the night for 17. So I said, watch out, motherfucker, I'm coming through. And he's like, oh, yeah, whatever. So he won it, and I told him after the race, I said, my slingshot button malfunctioned. It didn't work. I hit it, and he must have been out of range or what. Yeah.
Cal Norton behind you.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Give me the shake
slingshot engage, and
You're out of
nothing
green turtle
happened.
shells.
Yeah, damn it. But, it was fun. So.
All right. So, do you pay for the bikes, or does Hal's Harley pay for the bikes?
West Bend Harley.
West Bend
not
Harley.
Hal's
Oh, I'm so
Harley.
sorry.
My
I'll
goodness.
edit that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we can edit it.
Right.
It's only live on Facebook.
Cool. So
West Bend Harley.
correct. West Bend Harley. So I paid for the bike. They helped me out with doing the work on the bike. I don't. I like to fancy myself as knowledgeable in these things. There's a lot of things I don't know.
Okay.
So they have so much more experience and knowledge than I do. That, I mean, you and I sitting here talking, you going, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
I have moments like that too. Trust me.
Okay.
So we'll be sitting there, and so I put the bike together for the Flat Out Friday race in 2016, and when we were just kind of shotgunning online, looking at what everybody else is doing, ordering parts, putting this bike together, and so we kind of put one together and went out and ran it. And the guys from West Bend Harley were there, and I talked to them, and I said, yeah, I'm trying to do this, and they said, well, just stop into the dealer. So I stopped in there. They helped me out a bunch, and I said, hey, I hope you guys don't mind. I was going to put your name on the bike, for helping me out. And they were like, yeah, no, that's awesome. So it just kind of developed into a relationship, and then they started helping me out more and more.
Okay.
And it's more so labor and stuff, not necessarily monetary things. But the know-how and the help working on the bikes and the setup.
School
and
is expensive too.
yeah.
If you say you're learning too,
Oh, right. And
it's
it
cheaper
is.
than college.
Yep. And this is one of those things that you just don't stop learning. I mean,
Yeah.
you think you got something figured out, and you go out and run a different track you've never run, or a different situation, or something weird happens with the bike, and I mean, you're constantly.
Do you get like a
figuring
time
shit out.
trials or something to kind of run the course and get a feel for it?
So they typically will give you a practice session. So Daytona, we went down, and we got down there, and they were short on time, and we were kind of sandwiched.
Get half a lap.
Yeah, they gave us 2 laps. I'm not shitting you. They said, we don't have time for practice. You get no practice. You go out, you get they call it sighting laps. You get to drive around, look at the track, see if there's any potholes, oddball, anything, whatever. Get a little bit of a feel for it. It's certainly not much of a practice. So we got to go do 2 sighting laps, and then boom, you're into heat races. So didn't get much practice there. But then, like Friday up in Minneapolis, they gave us quite a bit of practice. Actually, I think we ran like 3 to 4:30 practice, so an hour and a half. And not that you're out there the whole time, but it was enough time to go out. We had multiple bikes up there, so go out and run this bike, go park it, grab a different bike, come back, run that bike, and say, okay, this one I got to do a little different gearing on. This one I got to adjust the suspension on, check air pressure in the tires, do different things. And then you had time to go back out and try that again. So it's nice to have adequate amount of practice time, but typically you don't have a whole lot. No. If you get 6 or 8 laps of practice, that's probably pretty standard, I would say.
Okay.
Which gives you an idea anyway. And then you go from practice, you go to heat races, then heat races to semifinals, from semifinals to mains, which you have to place. Typically, you have to place your way into that. So it'd be in the top half, or the top 4, or the top 2, or whatever it may be, depending on how many people are there.
And is the bike more or less stock? Like you said, you adjust the tire pressure, might adjust the transmission.
Sure. So there's, again, with this Hooligan class, you can go out and run so many different levels of things. You have to have flat track tires. I mean, that's just, if you went out with street tires on a bike, you're going to be the first one laying down. So don't want to do that. But you could put tires on essentially a stock bike, and yeah, sure, you could go run that, and you wouldn't be 100% competitive on it. But I mean, I've seen guys riding the shit out of bikes that aren't really set up that well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that comes down, you can get a guy that really knows how to ride on a stock bike and go and kick your ass, and I could have the best set up bike ever, and I just don't know how to ride it. I mean, it all comes down to that. But my bike is not very stock anymore. Not much stock on
What are
it.
some of the things that you changed?
So wheels, tires.
Like the wheel diameter?
Yeah. So I have 19-inch front and rear wheel, whereas like stock Harley, you'd either have a 19 or a 21-inch front wheel and then a 16-inch rear. So you put 19 and 19-inch wheels with wider tires than what you would normally have, and then a different type of tire, obviously, as well, specifically for dirt track racing. The engine's different on mine. I mean, it's the same engine. It's just different internally, make more horsepower. Handlebars are different. The suspension's different. The shocks and the front forks, and the body work's a little different. Just the aesthetics of it. I mean,
Okay.
it's nothing that affects the functionality. Just
So the
how it looks.
kickstand is the same.
No, there is zero kickstand.
This bike
no.
wasn't made for stopping.
Right. Race bike.
This is a go bike.
Yes.
Just sell me the kickstand and I'll build the bike around it.
Yep,
please.
exactly. I'll take that one. So yeah, no, there's not a lot stock on mine, but again, I mean, you very easily could race
Okay.
an essentially stock bike with different tires. So
All right. Where are we gonna find you next? Where are you going next?
I think our next race is going to be that Flat Out Friday that we just had in Milwaukee. That same promoter's putting one on, Flat Out Friday in La Crosse, April 20th. Which I understand if you guys want to go see Super Troopers 2 instead of coming to watch me race. I get it. They both happen the same day. Fine. But so I think that's our next race. And then we have another one, Flat Out Fargo, out in North Dakota? South Dakota? North Dakota.
A Dakota.
In Fargo. It's in Fargo,
Yeah,
which is in one of the Dakotas, just past Minnesota. We have one of those. We have that race. That's an indoor dirt race versus the indoor concrete with the syrup on. And that one is, I believe, May 5th, something like that.
Okay.
And then beginning of May, all of our district races start. So all of the outdoor local stuff, whereas just Wisconsin District 16 racing. And that's
Okay.
motorcycles, four-wheelers, kids, 85-year-old guys. And it's anywhere in between. It's all sorts of stuff. It's an all-day event. If you
But
guys,
it's a lot of fun to go see.
it is. And then, honestly, that's a cool thing to come watch for somebody that, if you've never been to an oval track race before, there's so many different levels there and so many different kinds of bikes. Like I said, kids on little tiny 50cc bikes
Awesome.
going,
Wow.
the 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds racing these things, up to, there's us on the Harleys, there's guys on dirt bikes, there's four-wheelers, racing four-wheelers going.
You'll find something to like.
Oh, man, there's so much stuff.
Does Cam want to do it?
He does.
Cam is his son.
Yes.
Cam is how old?
He's 9-year-old.
9-year-old.
And so he definitely does want to do it. Yes.
Yeah. You gonna
he,
let him?
He ice rides, and he he knows what he's doing. He's kind of at that point where if you put him out there with somebody that I know is faster than him, he's going to outride his ability to try and catch that guy.
Yeah.
And until he understands
Or
that,
stick his foot out?
right. Until he understands that second place is okay. If that guy's
Yeah,
better than you, he's
yeah.
better than you. That'll be when he can start racing. When he understands you can't put yourself in danger to outride your ability to try and catch a guy you're never going to catch anyway.
On Big Cedar's ice.
Right, exactly. He does enjoy big cedar ice. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that. So,
That is awesome.
so we'll see how this year goes. He's got a bike. He's got a four-wheeler. So we'll see what happens.
Do you have your schedule posted anywhere? Do you have like a website or a Facebook page separately for
Yeah, we can put that up on the website.
I don't, but I could
don't?
probably find a link to the District 16 stuff. If not,
Yeah, when we put your picture up online, we'll
sure. Or S Fischer 17 on Instagram.
Okay.
That'll all probably be stuff after the fact, but either way, you can
Yeah.
see what happened.
Yeah.
But no, we don't. Instagram is honestly, it's the craziest. Like that's the calendar for everybody now. It just blows my mind.
We literally just set up. Instagram was one of the last things that we did for the show, and
Yeah.
Tom was like, "Dude, Instagram's like nuts. Like we got all these," and I'm like,
Yeah,
I-
Instagram is like the new thing. I don't know. I actually created one maybe a year ago now, and it's funny because that's where all this stuff is constantly.
Which is nuts to me.
All these new races pop up, and people are like, "Hey, did you hear about this race in Tennessee? In June?" And I'm like, "Where? Yeah. Oh, I just saw it on Instagram." I'm like, shit, what? Come on. So there's a lot of stuff that'll pop up on there, and then the District 16 races. That's a posted schedule that's set and whatever. And there's That's all around the state. So there's stuff as local as
Okay.
Beaver Dam and Chilton and
You ever race
Plymouth.
Slinger?
I have raced at Slinger, not on the motorcycles. I have raced there, though, in the spectator eliminator class. Take your street car out. I got kicked out for being too aggressive. They said if I wanted to race like that, I should go buy a race car. They
You
said I
gotta
could
play
not.
nice.
Right, exactly.
We had another lady on previously that rolls
Oos.
cars
Oh, nice.
for the speedway.
Yeah,
She's
Car
and
roller.
she's
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
High school
several
girl.
times.
nice.
Yeah. She's
That's
just this
pretty
tiny
sweet.
little thing, redheaded.
65
Like,
pounds.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you should be. You want to be in like tiny little fetal position when it goes over. Yeah,
Yeah.
Get there.
It's easier to build a small cage.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh, she's very interesting, rolling cars.
yeah.
So, all right.
Not something I'd want to volunteer for, but go ahead.
Oh,
Whatever. I try really hard not to crash.
Right.
I don't. Hey, all right. So today I'm going to go out and I'm going to
Purposefully.
try and roll this van. Yeah, awesome. Good.
Well, it helped that her parents owned Kierkein Auto.
Oh yeah.
They
So they
get
got all the
cars.
junk cars anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's friends with the owners.
Yeah.
Oh.
They sponsor her.
Yeah.
it don't
Either way.
Either way.
Either way. They got junk cars to roll.
They got
Yeah.
10 cars to
Yeah,
roll. So,
perfect.
all right, we'll put your link up.
Perfect.
And,
Yeah.
hey, we appreciate it. We're going to start kicking ass. Start beating those guys you think are better than you.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
year, we'll see.
There you go.
That's awesome.
All right, should we do some Ask Tom Anything?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right, feel free to join in. Anything. This is kind of Ask Me Anything. Emails.
We'll send in
from the
emails.
audience.
Oh boy.
We should see if
I think
any-
your brother might have actually sent one in.
Fantastic.
I do have one from a Fisher,
Oh, gee dang it.
Uh-oh.
from Jacob Fisher. Do you think you could ride a bike from Wisco to Texas in 3
We've
days?
had this argument, and yes, I can.
In 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah, Tom
So
tried to argue
what
with
is it?
Jake.
Probably 900 miles.
Okay.
From Wisconsin to Texas.
Yeah.
Let's just hold on.
Google
300
Maps that
miles
real
a day.
quick.
And you know what? I'm doing it like
300
I'm
miles
gonna,
a day.
Where do you want to go? Austin?
No, I want to cross a Welcome to Texas sign.
You just want to be like.
I don't
just-
want to get to
just-
like
okay.
Across
all right.
the
You want
Texas
to
state line.
touch the panhandle or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right,
want
hold
to
on,
just
hold
get
on.
a little bit into Texas.
I would
me
assume
zoom
Route
out.
66 is what you're going to have to do.
No.
After we did our road trip, though, Tom revised his statement and said,
No, I didn't. I still stand by it.
"You
It's,
bullcrap!
it is downhill.
You totally revised your statement."
You know what? Maybe I'll just say screw you all, and when I get to the Mississippi, I'll put like 4-wheel tires
It's,
on it and a motor.
Now
It's
you need
very
to do it
flat
sometime.
over there. I'll give you that. There's
Okay.
not
What
a lot
about
of hills?
Texarkana? So from here to that's like right on the corner. That's like the
Okay.
very closest part of
Texarkana.
Texas you could get is 879 miles.
Perfect.
Now it says by bike. It says 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
That's probably nonstop.
That's not motorcycle.
I
That's
don't
pedal
care.
bike.
3 days and
stay
4 hours by bicycle. 934 miles via US 67 South.
Oh, in your face, Jake.
Wow. I knew
And that's
I could
Google
do-
Maps. You know you could beat Google Maps.
Yeah, on a
I
bike.
don't think I've ever not beaten Google
Does that
Maps. on a road
include?
trip.
That doesn't
Stop.
include like
If
stopping. Yeah.
you
for
guys
breaks.
Right.
You got to
saying
eat
I
while you're
can't.
biking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so I could get to Ottawa in 18 hours.
Have like liquid lunches and one of those
That's
packs
fine.
with the water in it.
Right.
Just do a
Camelback?
contest. I can stay up and not eat for 72 hours.
Tandem bike. I'll take a break. You pedal.
Okay.
You just have like a little strap that goes around your waist to hold you on while you just sit there sleeping
Now
while
you're
he's
just
pedaling
gonna
in the
have
back.
to do it and put
I-
your words where.
If you guys keep bugging me about it, I am going to do it, but I don't think the
And
victory
Instagram
prize
it.
of me sitting there with like burnt out bike tires in Texas is going to be like, okay, now what?
What if
Yeah, I
what
proved
if
you wrong.
what if you could raise enough money to get a plane ticket back and just throw your bike away when you get there?
That's probably what I would have to do.
Right. I feel like enough people would chip in to pay $200 to fly you back once you
I'd
got
have
there.
to have people also chip in to have a goal if I do make it.
The reward would just be
But-
to tell Jake that he's wrong.
Right. But you couldn't just fly home because you're going to need a support vehicle.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to follow you in a car
Yeah.
or a moped
Yeah.
with a big basket on the back.
And I would just lasso the guy on the moped and think,
Only drive that moped 11 miles an hour. That's how fast I can pedal. No cheating.
All right. Fatty Nutmeg wants to know,
oh, yeah, she's always in.
what will Molly and your love child's name be?
What?
And is it a boy or a girl?
What?
Does she know something that I don't know?
Right.
Well, I think it's just theoretically. If you,
Oh,
What
yeah,
its
yeah.
name
what are
be?
some names? Have you thought about names
Whoops.
for? You wouldn't have little Tom Jr. or Thomasina?
Oh, shit.
Right.
What are you going to do about that, Molly? Yeah.
So that okay.
So
Next question is-
no names have
No
been.
names.
No, not
Right.
really.
Another from Fatty Nutmeg.
Love.
If alien/creatures are real and in the future we could coexist, would you do dirty things with them, kind of like the movie Shape of Water? In that movie, the lady has sex with a fish man.
Fish man.
Oh,
It depends.
It's a cool
I always
movie.
thought mermaids were kind of hot.
Yeah, but you need
The top
You have
half.
sex
the
with a
top
mermaid.
half. Yeah, you need the fish part on top and the legs on the bottom to get it done.
It doesn't mean
You
I
make
can't
out
mess
with a
around
big
with.
largemouth bass.
Right. No.
She's got a mouth.
Right.
And of course, it has to be a largemouth for me.
Yeah.
So aliens and sex, it's almost like
Well, you see, like Star Trek, you see Kirk is
you
always
just kind of want to be the dude saying,
kissing the
"Yeah, I
alien
did.
chicks.
I fucked
Yeah,
it. I
right.
fucked that chick."
I
He did.
totally think there would be people who would do it in
Yeah.
the future. Would I do it?
I would have to have a
Probably.
scientist study it first.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
to make
Yeah,
sure?
is this-
Is my dick
Are we
going to fall
compatible?
off?
Right.
Oh, by the way, its
Do they have
vagina is
teeth in their
coated in
vagi- yeah.
sulfuric acid.
Right. Go on.
Yeah.
Remember the movie Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
It's the Sarlacc pit.
Yes.
Remember the movie Teeth?
Oh, and they're also
Yes.
a praying mantis species, so she's going to eat your
Eat you
head.
after. Yeah. Good. Fantastic.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I think it would really just depend. It depends. It would depend on.
We don't have enough information to answer that question right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it has
But
it
you know
bought me
what?
a
We're
drink?
not saying no.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm
If
open to
everything-
the option.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. I'm open to the option if we have enough
If
information that it's
largely
safe.
socially acceptable. I don't want to be the first guy over the wall here taking arrows, but
Maybe
if-
after the scientific research.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe once there's already some little hybrids running around,
Right.
maybe I'll look into it.
That'll be my victory when I get to Texas. There'll be an alien waiting there. Here's your prize, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah.
First
Is
guy.
it going to be a Navi or is it going to be a xenomorph from the Alien movie?
Well, a Navi chick would be really like interesting.
You like tall broads?
Yeah, I do like tall broads. So like a 9-foot tall blue chick.
As long as she has all legs.
Yeah. She could wrap them around you twice.
Right. Perfect.
'Cause she
Really
has-
flexible.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open to the idea.
All right, here we go. Hi, guys. My wife wants to buy a self-driving car. I think it's terrifying. Would you ever ride in a self-driving car? It
Sam.
can't be any worse than my wife's driving, right?
Sam has some opinions on that.
Oh yeah, I might hand this off to Sam here because
goodness.
you know how much I know about cars, but machines are programmed to fail. So this self-driving car, it's going to fail.
Right.
And
There were just some people killed on a campus with, I believe it was in Texas. I just saw an article that a self-driving car ran over 3 pedestrians, killed them,
Yeah.
dead. Another quick story. I had a friend of mine out in California over the winter and was at a guy's house, whatever, super loaded, owned a bunch of like Chick-fil-A's or some shit out there. And they were super loaded at the end of the night. And the guy's like, yeah, let's go to Chick-fil-A and get some food, or wherever restaurant chain he owned out there. And my buddy goes, well, how the hell are we going to get there? He goes, I got a Tesla. And these new Tesla cars have the autopilot.
Built in.
Yep. So he goes, well,
Man.
you still have to drive it. He goes, yeah, but once you get to the freeway, it drives itself. And he's like, you what? And he goes, yeah, shit, we just went out the other night, to get some food. And all I got to do is get it to the highway, and then it drives itself. And I don't even sit. I sit there and look sideways and talk to the guy in the passenger seat, and whatever. He goes, you are putting 100% trust in your life
Right.
in this vehicle.
In this machine.
Driving 75 miles an hour down the freeway while you're hammered drunk sitting there sitting in the passenger
Have you
seat
never-
to go get Chick-fil-A at 4 in the morning?
If it
Watch a
fails,
Twilight
could you
Zone
get a
or
ticket for?
Science fiction.
Oh, I think you
an
get a
OWI?
ticket for an OWI whether it fails or not. Because either way, you're still driving the
You're
car.
in
You're the
vehicle.
backup. Yeah.
Right. But, yeah.
How to get to the how
I
to get
could
to the highway.
not trust that. I mean,
No.
I get the concept of it. I think, like
Do you
the
even
campus.
trust cruise control?
Sure, I use cruise control. I don't like the adaptive cruise control, the auto stuff with the
The self-stopping
sensors
cars?
and stuff. I've driven some of those, and the self-adjusting speed on the freeway is fine. If you got the cruise set at 75 and you come up on somebody at 70, it'll let
distance,
off
yeah.
keep the gap. And if you change lanes, it'll speed you back up 75. Cool, fine, I get that. I like that. The auto braking thing is again one of those things that freaks me out.
Yeah.
So you're driving and you got dust or dirt or dead bugs on the sensors in the front of the car. I mean, what does it take for that to fail?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, well, the FBI has the ability to shut people's cars off if they're new enough.
Remotely.
Sure. Yep.
Remotely.
Yep.
OnStar can shut them off.
Right.
what about if somebody can hack your car?
Oh, they can
and
do that.
just turn the wheel because it's going to do the self-parking thing.
I'm sure they will
Right.
be able to.
Right when you're doing 75.
There was an
Right.
episode of Nova where a guy did that. He specifically went out. He had a car on a closed course, and then he hacked it remotely and got it to just stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he could just make it keep going if he wanted to.
Right.
So he could just kill you.
You can hack a smart car that a celebrity's driving in and make them like
Right.
come to your
Right.
house or
Well,
drive off
okay,
a
maybe I'm a
bridge
little more
or-
interested in that.
They have the self-parking things.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yep.
have
Johnny
to turn
Depp,
the
come
wheel.
here.
Right.
But if they turn the wheel while you're doing 85 down the freeway, that's pretty rough.
Right. Right.
Right
So
over a bridge.
I'm not a
No, you
big
can't
fan of
trust
the
it.
idea. I
No.
think the technology will probably get there someday to the point where
Every car is self-driving.
It scares me.
I think the option
And
will
it's-
be there. I think it'll and
Oh yeah, it'll be standard in like 10 years.
sure. So what Tesla did, where it's only on the freeway and whatever, I could buy that. I can get on board for that. You go on a road trip from here to Texas, Fallen Tom on a stupid pedal bike, and
Does it take weather conditions into account?
I see, and that's the whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to develop
I'm
along
just
with
thinking
this.
Wisconsin with
Right.
snow, ice.
And I don't think it would work on that because it reads off the road,
Yeah.
the lines on the road. So I think it would be California, Southern, whatever, summertime. But I mean, I could buy into that. Going on a road trip and you just, oh God, and you just sit back and relax while it drives. You got to go 200 miles before you got to stop for fuel. Okay, so you
wouldn't
hit
be able to
autopilot and go.
relax.
I don't think you would either, but maybe you could at least.
I wouldn't
I don't
put
know.
a Harry Potter movie on my tablet.
No,
just
right.
Check
and,
out.
and see, maybe that's worse because you get people that are just 10 times more lax,
Yeah.
just trusting the system to work at that point, and then something does go wrong and you're not even paying attention. But
My brother's got a Chevy Impala that's fairly new, and it's got all the lane assist crap in
Yep.
it, and that freaks me out. I
Yeah.
borrowed it when he was home.
Yep.
I borrowed it once to drive to work because mine was in the shop for something.
right,
And it scared the shit out of me.
Right.
Because even when you're like driving and it's got one of those turn lanes or something that curves into yours or
Yep.
anything, it starts flashing red and beeping at you, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
and some of them the seats vibrate.
I think the steering wheel vibrates.
Yeah.
It scared the shit. It's like I'm gonna have an accident. Just
Yeah.
It's not
freaking
good when you panic her.
Right,
especially
right.
behind the wheel.
out. No, I spaz. I
Right.
spaz
Yeah.
a little bit. I had to turn it off because it scared me.
Oh yeah, I believe
It's
it.
too infant, but in another way, in order for it to get out of infancy, we have to start with the infant level
All right.
self-driving.
Yeah.
So it's not for me.
Well, you had a
like
story
the
about
aliens, you don't want to be the first guy.
Right.
I don't want to
they've
be the
got
first guy. in
self-driving semi-trucks.
Yeah,
that
there.
they're
I had a
that's
story about
Tesla
that's
as well.
even more
yeah.
scary to me. What
Yeah.
if one of those goes like,
Because those need like 100 yards to stop.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you got like this crazy uncontrolled thing just
Right.
that weighs how much?
A lot. Yep,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not on board yet, but
Yeah.
it's getting there.
All right. Well, should we
Wrap it up there.
wrap it up there? I think we're going pretty long here.
Wrap
we're
it
going
up
good.
there.
We'll wrap it up. Sam, congratulations on
Hey,
doing
thank
well
you.
last week on the race.
Yay.
And, thanks for coming. Love to have you.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thank you.
You're welcome back.
Perfect.
Should I do some reads here?
Yeah. Hey, since you're going to be in a self-driving car, hands-free, you could listen to some audio content.
Oh. Audible.com, the world's largest producer of digital books. You don't read books anymore, you listen to books.
I get
In the
it.
car, yeah, at the
Right.
gym.
Certain people with eyesight feel books. Eyesight problems.
Braille.
Braille.
Right. Or that. Way easier.
You can. There's 3 or 5 sentences that you can use now to read books. So
I like to taste books.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
biggest
the
selection
best.
ever. You get you can go to audibletrial.com/utapodcast and get 30-day free membership, 1 credit a month after the trial. Good for any book, regardless of price. Ad-free premium audio, so you can listen to it offline, whatever highway you're on, snoring, just whale sounds.
Right.
You can go to audible.com and get whale sounds for your new age car. 30% off exclusive member-only savings. Easy exchanges. Don't like a book? Swap it for free anytime. Go to audibletrial.com/unipodcast or just click on it on our website. Just go to our website, guys. It's getting better. We keep leveling up. We keep getting it better and better. And so if you've been on it a week or two and haven't been on it in a while, go. You'll be
Check
like,
it
oh,
out.
they did something different.
Ooh,
So
new font.
you can also go to our webpage and click on Amazon.com because everyone shops on Amazon, right? And if you want to help out your free podcast, you just click on the site on our website. You click the Amazon link. It sends you to Amazon, and you just buy like normal, and we get a kickback.
Oh, fancy sauce.
And we will take all that money and put it back into the podcast. And where else can you find us there, Mark?
You can find us. Our website is theunipodcast.com. We have a presence on Twitter at Unipodcast.
Presence on Twitter.
We are occupying space on Twitter.
Right.
Okay.
We are on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live right now. Facebook.com/Unipodcast. Don't forget to email your questions to AskTomAnything414@gmail.com. This podcast is available on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and many other podcast hosting sites. Don't forget to check out our Instagram page linked up on our website. And go back to that website for more details.
Yeah, and if you want to, we're going to have a link to Sam's, what's the webpage again? I can't remember.
16 something. Or
District 16, AMA District 16.
And it's got to be fairly cheap for families to go out there and have a good time.
I believe
eventually.
entrance, I think, is free. I think to come out and watch it,
Hey,
I think entrance
the
is
price
free.
is right.
Yeah.
Mark's going. Yeah, you want to go out and check out free racing of all level drivers?
There you go.
What the hell? That is awesome. We're going to put
If
that up on
it's
our webpage.
not free, it's very cheap, but I think it's free.
And all right, well, thanks for coming. And
It's not free, Sam's pie.
Just tell them, yeah, that 17 guy said it was free.
yeah. So all right, and remember, universe, we're not good enough for you.
Yeah.
You got to end the.
Oh, and we're on Facebook too.
Oh, Facebook.
Bye,
yeah.
Facebook.
See
ya.
Thank you.
Facebook. See you next week. We love you.
There's actually some comments.
Oh yeah, we got some comments here. So all right, let's wrap this one up.
Did you hit stop?
Kill switch.
And broadcast. Yeah.
Or so he thinks. It's still going.
I am
It just cuts to porn.